Our investor reporting. Yolanda Cease, and I'm the senior information that will be shared in this call and the discussion will be invited participants only. This is a closed call to the press, and all press inquiries are handled by Ginnie Mae Communications. If you are not one of the intended recipients, you are hereby notified that any dissemination, distribution, or sharing of this information is strictly prohibited. Our training session today is being recorded. And yes, the training deck is available to you now at ginniemay.gov. I will post the link in the chat. And once you click on the link, you scroll down and click on general training presentations and click on today's training deck. Today's training is a part of a webinar series that we're offering on various topics. We're always collecting feedback as well on all of our training sessions, be it suggestions, requests, or etc. You can submit all of your feedback at cxg@hud.gov. Again, welcome. And I want to introduce our presenters for today. We have Paul St. Laurent, Gail Smith, Nancy Strickland, and Steve Audie. And welcome again. Paul.
Thank you, Yolanda. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Paul St. Laurent and Ginnie Mae, and I've been around Ginnie Mae for about 31 years, so I'm one of the most long in the tooth employees. This is an area, this is a topic that's very near and dear to my heart. I've worked on this for a long time, and I'm just going to go through a little bit of a preview here and then turn it over to our data vendor, Gail and company. They'll go through the slides. I suspect you guys will have many questions, and we welcome those. So again, without any further ado, we are today going to go through this what's called loan matching and suspense in Ginnie Mae. And let me just talk about this at just a very high level. What Ginnie Mae is doing in this area is it's super important. What we're verifying is when issuers pool loans with Ginnie Mae, that these loans have the requisite insurance or guarantee, right? It's a super important requirement. It's a federal statute that Ginnie Mae pool loans must have the requisite insurance or guarantee. And the way that Ginnie Mae does this is what's called the data matching or loan matching, that we take data you submit to Ginnie Mae each month by way of RFS to external data files that we receive from the agencies, FHA, VA, and Rural Development. And we match them up. And 99.7% of the time, it lines up quite well, right? Super high numbers, but in cases where they don't, we are going to get into the campaign today in more descriptive nature about how do issuers cure these mismatches, what are Ginnie Mae's requirements for doing this in great detail. And once again, with the goal of getting these mismatches cured as quickly as possible to help Ginnie Mae verify that issuers have insured or guaranteed loans in our pools. Last but not least, I would say that, since I've been working on this for a number of years, there's lots of things that, I have in mind to augment this process, to make it better, to build a better mousetrap. So I welcome any participants that, want to suggest, process improvements, how we can make this process better, right? We have made a lot of process updates and improvements over time, and we will continue to do so. So we welcome your participation. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Gail Smith from our data vendor. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Welcome, everyone. So today we're going to discuss case number requirements, what to do about non-matching loans, hard coding loans, if you have terminated loans, or if you have loans in suspense. So matching and suspense, this is a module of the reporting and feedback system, RFS. And loan matching, what is it? So we take all your data, all the issuers submit data monthly. We take your data And all the agencies submit data to us monthly, and we try to match certain fields. If the fields do not match, they will show up on a download. So the agencies that we perform matching with is FHA Multifamily Endorsement, RD, USDA, Multifamily and Single Family, RHS, FHA Single Family Insured Systems A43 database. We also try to match to FHA's Computerized Homes Underwriting Management System, CHUMS. We also receive VA guarantee data, the rural development data, and currently at this time, we do not perform any matching to PIH data, but we are in process of talking with them to receive some data to perform matching. The process of matching is run 3 times a month. We run it on the 5th business day, the 10th business day, and around the 25th calendar day. So we run on the 5th business day, pull your non-matches, work on them, make corrections. We will run matching again on the 10th business day, pull your download on the 11th business day, see what remains, make more corrections, and you can do a final pull after the 25th calendar day to see what remains to fix for the next reporting period. Our matching criteria is 5 fields for FHA, single family, VA, and RD. We have 2 fields that we match on initially. That is case number and OPB. If we match on those 2 fields, you will get an MA match status. For any loans that were created or reported after January 1, 2003 that are FHA are subject to the streamline match, which is an additional 3 fields: interest rate, maturity date, and the first 3 digits of the zip code. If you have those loans and they are not matching, your loan match status will be MANI, not matched to insurance. If it is matched to insurance, your loan will be MAMI. For multifamily, the fields used for matching are case number and OPB. For FMF project loans and for all RMF loans. If it's an FMF loan and it is reported as a construction loan, we are currently using the case number and the mortgage rate. The next slide is a reference to your exceptions versus your non-matched codes in your downloads. A lot of times insurers pull their exceptions and they will see a MAT 001 through MAT 005. What this does is maps them back and forth for you. If you pull your insurance download and you see NC, that is, you will also see a MAT 001 in your exceptions. MC equates to a MAT 002, meaning we only match the case number. We want you to verify that that case is actively insured. Are you reporting the correct case number? And verify all that data is accurate. If it's not accurate, please correct your data. If the agency has incorrect data, please ask the agency to correct the data. MANI, which I referenced earlier for the FHA streamlines, you will see a MAT 003 through MAT 005. If it's a MAT 003, it means the interest rate you're reporting did not match to what the agency is reporting. If it's a data integrity issue on your side, please correct it. If it is not, you would follow through with the mortgage insurance certificate correction form. A MAT 004 means the first 3 digits of the zip code you are reporting does not match to the first 3 digits of the zip code that FHA is reporting. Again, you want to look at this and correct the data either on your side or ask the agency to correct their data. As many of you know, we did have a little bit of an issue with FHA zip codes for a few months, and that has been corrected. So you should no longer see those on your downloads. If you see a MAT 005, that means the maturity date that you are reporting is not matching to the agency reported maturity date. Again, you need to confirm which is correct. Pull your note and verify the data that you're reporting is accurate. And if it is not corrected, and if it is accurate and the agency is incorrect, please reach out to the agency and have it corrected. Case number requirements. So Ginnie Mae has standards for case number requirements. You're going to want to refer to APM 02-17. All Ginnie Mae case numbers must be reported as 15 digits. FHA single family case number starts out with 2 leading zeros, then has the location code, the serial number, check digit, and the ADP code. FH1, manufactured housing, 3 leading zeros, the contract number, and the serial number. VA starts out with 3 leading zeros, and then you have the office of jurisdiction, the office of origin, 6 indicating that it's a VA loan, and then the VA loan number. RHS and RMF are very similar. They both have a leading zero. They both have the state and county code. For RHS, RD single family loans, issuers are still required to report the SSN. For RMF case numbers, they are now reporting the borrower ID, which is a randomly generated number. For FHA multifamily, you report 7 leading zeros, the location code, and the serial number. Now we're going to talk about non-matching loans. You will go into the matching and suspense module. You'll click on the RFS, and in the drop-down menu, you'll select matching and suspense. There's the user guide at the end of each module to pull you down, provide guidance. Also on this screen are the downloads that are available: insurance, terminate, suspense, age matching, age terminated matching, and various suspense. When you select a download, you will be able to select your loan type. If you have FHA single family loans, they will be FHA. VA, RHS is RD, or Rural Housing Services. FMF, FHA multifamily. FH1 are manufactured housing, and RMF is rural multifamily. Whenever you want to pull your download, select the different loan type that you want to review. This is an example of what the download looks like for an insurance non-match results for FHA loans. In the beginning of this slide, you see at the top and actually through the whole middle of the slide, you see a lot of verbiage. We try to provide guidance on what to do if your loans are not matching. So we tell you if you have an MA, it means you matched on case number and OPB, verify the interest rate, which is a MAT 003, the zip code, which is the MAT 004, maturity date, which is a MAT 005. Matched on case number only, you want to verify that, yes, you're reporting the correct case number for that borrower. You also want to make sure that the loan's actively insured, and you want to confirm that you're reporting the correct OPB. If you see an NC, that means we can't even find the case number you're reporting to a record in the agency file. So again, you want to make sure you're reporting the correct case number. Is it actively insured? This is an example of what the records look like on the download. So in the first column, we give you the unique loan ID. We give you the pool ID. We give you the case number you are reporting. We give you your issuer loan ID. We give you the match code. the matching date, the loan type, the pool issue date, the OPB that you are reporting. We also provide the agency maturity date if we matched on case number and OPB. In this first row, it means the agency is reporting a maturity date of March 1st, 2033, but the issuer is reporting a maturity date of February 1st, 2033. Pull the note. Which one is correct? If yours is correct, you will contact the agency to have them correct their data. If your data is incorrect, you will correct yours in your next report. Same thing with the row that shows interest rate. When your loan is not matching on interest rate, we provide the agency interest rate being reported, and we provide the interest rate that you are reporting. Again, pull the note, which one is correct. If your data is correct, contact the agency. If your data is incorrect, correct your data in your next reporting period. We do this for interest rate, zip code, and maturity date when they're FHA loans that have matched on case number and OPB. In the list, there is a loan with an MC match status. All we could find is a case number that matched to the agency's file. So we're not going to provide you an OPB that the agency is reporting because we do not know if we even have the same record. You might be accidentally reporting a case number for another borrower. So again, you want to go in and confirm that loan is actively insured, that you're reporting the correct case number, and that you're reporting the correct OPB. This is a insurance non-match verification for VA, rural housing, RD, and FH1. This is only a two-string match where we match on case number and OPB. You will either get an MC or an NC. Again, you want to verify you're reporting the correct case number, the OPB matches. These are examples of what the VA, RHS, and FH1 downloads look like. We provide the unique loan ID, the pool ID, the case number, the issuer loan ID, your match code, the match date. We give you the loan type, VAG for VA, RHS for RD, and FH1 for manufactured housing. Again, we tell you what fields are not matching. You will go in and confirm that your data is accurate. If your data is accurate, you will reach out to the agency and ask them to correct their data. Again, you want to confirm these loans are actively insured. This is your insurance non-match download for FHA, multifamily. Again, for this, we actually do provide the agency OPB, and this was a request from the multifamily team because they do a lot of research for you. So if you're an FHA multifamily issuer on this call, you're very lucky. You have your team does some background research for you. So we provide the agency OPB and we provide the OPB that the issuer is reporting. If it's a construction loan, we provide the agency mortgage rate and the mortgage rate that the issuer is reporting. Again, you want to make sure the case number is correct. All loans for FHA, multifamily, and rural multifamily, we know are insured, but we still want to have the data discrepancy issues reviewed and corrected. RMF is the same thing that I just described. You will look at the case number, make sure it's accurate, look at the OPB that's being reported, make sure it is accurate. Let me take some water. Hard coding loans. This is what we do when you do everything you can to correct the data on your loans and they still do not match. And we know that there's issues where your loans won't match. Issuers are always required to report the OPB on the note. You may refer to Appendix 6-19 in the loan record, search on OPB. Always report the OPB from the note. So we will discuss hard coding loans with principal reductions, hard coding modified loans with principal reductions, hard coding VA vet, non-vet, joint and Texas land board loans, USDA RD loans for multiple borrowers on a loan, and USDA RD loans when the primary borrower is deceased. This documentation that we're going to discuss will be uploaded into the reporting and feedback system. We are never permitted to receive a borrower's personally identifiable information in an email, an attachment, in a secure email. All documentation needs to be securely uploaded. If you do send it to us, we will forward that email to the Ginnie Mae security team and delete your email. So hard coding loans with a principal reduction. Ginnie Mae put into place a process called range matching, where we look at your data, and if it falls within a tolerance of plus or minus $2,500, we will range match your loan. If it does not qualify for range matching, then you will need to provide documentation. So if your loan didn't range match, you want to perform the following steps. Is the correct case number being reported? Does the interest rate match the note? If not, correct your data. If correct, ask the agency to correct the interest rate. This also applies to maturity date and the first 3 digits of the zip code. If the OPB differs by more than $2,500, the issuer may securely upload a screenshot, either from FHA Connection, if it's an FHA loan, or we also accept a copy of the mortgage insurance certificate. The MIC actually shows the PR up in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, or I mean of the MIC. So we will accept that. For VA, we will accept a screenshot from VA's funding fee payment system or a screenshot from your history system, and we will do the same thing with RD. Just please circle the PR for us. We don't always know what your screens look like on your system. So it's very easy, it's easier for us to find the PR if you circle it for us. If you have a modified loan that has any type of principal reduction, we need to see a screenshot. We know it will never match to the agency data because the issuer is required to change the modified OPB that they report in GinnieNet back to the OPB note when reporting in RFS. So we know it's not going to match on OPB, and we cannot use the modified maturity date, and we cannot use the modified interest rate because they will not match to the agency. So we skip those 2 fields, but the issuer must supply documentation showing the curtailment. If it's $25, if it's $100, if it's $9,000, we need to see that curtailment. Again, please circle it. Also, if you have modified loans and they're not matching, please make sure that you are reporting the modified loan by setting the loan purpose code in the various record to a 3 or 4, HAMP or non-HAMP. Hard coding a VA vet, non-vet, joint loan, and Texas land board loans. If you have any of these 2 loan types, again, you will gather some documentation, and this will all be securely uploaded. We will need to see a copy of the borrower's note, just the first few pages. We just want to see the terms of the loan. A copy of the loan guarantee certificate, a copy of the certificate of reasonable value, or a copy of the notice of value. If either of those two documents are not acceptable, or excuse me, I don't mean not acceptable, available, we will also accept a copy of the deed of trust. Again, all we want to see on those documents is the OPB, that it was covered by the insurance on the LGC. For USDA RD loans where there's multiple borrowers on a loan, I believe, and Paul can correct me, there can be up to 5 borrowers on an RD loan, and all borrowers on that loan are considered covered by the guarantee. So if you have a loan where you're reporting one primary borrower's SSN and RD is reporting one of the co-borrowers' SSNs, we know this loan will never match. So if you provide us the first couple pages of the note that identifies all the borrowers on the loan, and then again, we want to see the OPB interest rate maturity date and a copy of the loan note guarantee, we will go in and we can look at the agency data and we can see all the co-borrowers on that loan. We always perform our due diligence and we will manually hard code that loan for you. RD loans where the primary borrower is deceased and there is no co-borrower. You may reach out to Tony Swedland at the St. Louis office at USDA.gov, which is listed below. And you can see that the documentation required, and there's a copy of the death certificate. If you reach out to the agency and they deny your request, they just will not update the data for whatever reason, you can forward that email straight to the Ginnie Mae help at Deloitte.com, as long as there is no personally identifiable information in the email, and we will review it. And if everything looks good, we will manually hard code that loan for you as well. So just so you know, you may put 250 pages in one PDF. You may mix PRs, loan mods with PRs, Texas landlord loans, VA joint loans, RD loans. You may mix everything together in one PDF for one secure file upload. Just make sure that you email us and say, I've uploaded 250 pages. They were PRs, loan mods. We need to know exactly what you're requesting. So inside the body of the email, you can put first 10 unique loan IDs are PRs. The next 20 unique loan IDs are VA joint loans. We need to know as we are subject to audit. Terminated loans, we perform a match of all the data you report to us against FHA and RD's terminated data. We are currently working with VA to get their terminated data. But if you have any loans that match to the terminated data that you're reporting is actively insured and the agency terminated that insurance, you will get an e-notification. And it will tell you, you have terminated loan data. We give you the download file and you need to work those loans. If the loans were terminated in error by the agency, please contact the agency and have them reinstate the loan as actively insured. Again, you will receive this e-note on the 10th business day. This applies to FHA, single family, and RD data. Again, contact your agency and have it reinstated as active. If you do not follow up on your loans and they remain in a terminated match status for 3 months, you will be contacted by the Ginnie Mae monitoring team to cure the loans. You may read more about this in the Ginnie Mae MBS Guide, Chapter 14, Part 8, Section D to B. If you see on your report that you have an MT in your terminated download, that means we match the case number and the OPB that you're reporting to the terminated agency file. If you see CT, it means we matched the case number only that you're reporting to the agency file. And just from experience, a lot of times that I see this, it means that you're probably reporting an old case number. This is what your terminated download looks like. It gives you the unique loan ID, the date it matched to terminated, and the terminated status, MT or CT. Underneath that is what the aged download looks like, and we provide all the information for you. Loan matching suspense. If you have loans that matched to an agency file and you change that data, we want to know why. So we suspend those records because they matched previously to the agency, and you will receive an e-notification telling you that you have suspended records to look at and work. You must return that file by the second to last business day of the month. Again, this is what your suspense download looks like. The current value is what matched to the agency file. The suspended value is what was changed in your current report period. So do you want to accept the suspended value or reject the suspended value? Obviously, in the very first row where the issuer is trying to change the interest rate to 0, that is not acceptable. You need to fix your system and reject that change. If you're changing the case number ATP code from 703 to 203 and that is accurate, you will accept it. If it is not accurate, you will reject it and correct your system's data. And I am going to turn this over. This is RFS loan matching various suspense, and I will turn it over to Steve.
Thanks, Gil. Just before we get started with various suspense, please note that if you have questions, we will have a question and answer time at the end. There is currently one question in the chat, so you can preload those if you'd like, and we'll have a Q&A session at the end. All right, now what we're going to talk about is the various suspense process under matching. You probably remember from issuer training that the various loan record is an optional record. The various loan record is the purpose of it is only to correct data that was originally reported incorrectly on the Form 11706 scheduled pool mortgages. You can see that in the bold in that second paragraph. So when we talk about various suspense, we don't want to see various suspense records that are submitted each month when a correction is not needed. Okay, we do see that sometimes, and it's more processing on your end, more processing on the RFS end, and it can cause a various suspense unnecessarily. All right. If you notice at the bottom, you can find the details for the various loan record in Appendix VI 19 on page 24. Okay. And let's go to the next slide. All All right. When you do submit a various loan record and it has items that are suspended, you will get an e-notification that looks like this. These are posted on the morning of the 7th business day. So any various suspense that has occurred up to that point will be incorporated into an e-note on that day, on the morning of the 7th business day. So do check your e-notification for the RFS various suspense download. You can see that at the top in the red. Okay. You'll notice on the instructions there on the previous slide that the responses are due no later than the 20th calendar day of the month. Okay, so that's the schedule, and you can see the location there, Ginnie Mae various at Deloitte.com is where these are submitted. All right, next. So when you go into receive your various suspense items, you go to the matching and suspense module within RFS, go to the various suspense download, as Gail mentioned earlier, and you select your issuer ID from the drop down there. If you have more than one issuer ID, you could select which one you want to download for. And then we'll go on to the next slide, which will show you, this is an example of a various suspense record. You'll notice these are listed by loan. We have the pool ID, the Ginnie Mae unique loan ID. We do provide your issuer loan ID. And then you have pairs of items. This is similar to loan matching, the download that you receive for that. You'll see the L column on the left-hand side of the pair and the V column on the right-hand side. You'll see in the first loan, there are no values being submitted for combined CLTV and on the first loan, but there is a change in the first-time home buyer for that loan from a Y to an N. Okay, on the second loan, it's just the reverse. The CLTV is being reported at pooling as 94, and then this month you were reported a 93. Now there will be, this is a very simple example, but you'll have columns for every single field within the various loan record. So we only show 2 here, but you'll have a full set of records from the various loan record. Now, unlike unlike loan suspense, a various suspense record is accepted or rejected for all of the values in the V columns. So in that first loan ending in 8459, if you say accept, you are accepting the V value for CLTV and first time home buyer of blank and N. So you're saying, yes, I accept all those values. If any one of those values is not correct, you're going to want to put a reject. Okay, so let's say you have in the example for 8459, if there was a 94 and a 93 for CLTV, 94 was correct. the value reported at issuance, and the N for first-time home buyer in the various column was correct. You can't separate those in terms of accepting one and rejecting another. You'd have to reject the entire loan record, the various loan record, and then resubmit the correct value in a subsequent month. Okay, so in the same way, you're putting an accept or reject and a reason for that as loan suspense. You're also doing the same for various suspense. All right, you can see the address there at the bottom. The Ginnie Mae various at Deloitte.com is where you submit those no later than the 20th calendar day of the month. So please do adhere to that if you do receive an e-notification that says you have various suspense. All right, next. Okay, this chart is helpful in the sense that it brings together some of the processes that Gail mentioned and some of the processes that I mentioned in terms of workflow. These are the schedule for the item, and whether or not there's an e-notification and on what day. So you should refer to this often to know. You should be checking e-notification daily, but this is also helps you understand matching and suspense workflow in general. Okay. All right, and I just want to first, before we get into the question and answer period, I want to note there that the different presenters and staff at Ginnie Mae are listed there. Maybe we could put that back up.
I don't know what happened. It just, my system locked up. I apologize.
That's all right. Okay, great. Thank you, Gail. Do note at the bottom of this, the Ginnie Mae help, as Gail mentioned, was for just that specific purpose. And then Ginnie Mae suspense is for regular loan suspense, and Ginnie Mae various is for the various suspense. All right. I think now I will turn this over to, well, I'll open this up for Q&A. We have myself, Gail, and Nancy on for answering those questions. If it is a Ginnie Mae question, we do also have Paul and Yolanda on. Okay, here is, looks like the first question we have. Where do we go to upload the pay history regarding loans that are modified that have principal curtailment to clear the MAT 002 codes?
Okay, so for that information, you would go to the Matching and Suspense User Guide, Section 9. It goes into detail on how to securely upload documentation into RFS. You load this into RFS via MGM.
Okay, we have another question. can various suspense download and matching download be sent by email? Is this information on the spreadsheet personal data? So I'll take the various suspense portion. So the various suspense, when it's created on the 7th business day, will provide an e-notification for you. We don't provide that via email, and the same with the matching download. So Ginnie Mae encourages and requires that you receive your data through the Ginnie Mae portal. And so logging in there, accessing your e-notification, going to the matching and suspense module and downloading that data is the way to get that information. And no, there is no personal data in the spreadsheet. The only personal data is in the sensitive loan record, and that's not part of the matching and suspense, save the zip code portion that Gail mentioned. All right, next question. If we identify the issue, contact the appropriate agency and receive a corrected certificate, how long does it take for the loan to fall off the mass report? If the loan does not fall off, what steps do we take?
Okay, so issuers generally report their data at the beginning of the month. The agencies do the same thing with us. So if you would submit a MIC correction form on, say, November 29th, we probably will not get that updated data until January. If you submit your corrections, say anywhere from the 1st of November through the 15th, and FHA, VA, or RD can get those changes in the system and updated by the beginning of the month, we will probably get them in that current month. So meaning like FHA, VA, RD, FMF, RMF, and all the other agencies send us their data at the beginning of the month. So all the corrections that you have submitted to them have to be processed by that agency before the beginning of the month when we receive the data. Does that make sense?
And you can use the chat feature there too, if you do just want to respond to a question. And Gail, if the loan does not fall off, what steps do they take? Was that also addressed?
Okay, if your loan does not fall off, contact the Ginnie Mae help at Deloitte.com and let us know what's going on with that loan, and we can research it for you.
Okay, thanks. The next question, can you talk about the file name of the upload and how to address the email follow-up?
The file name is in appendix is in the Master User Guide section 9, and I do not actually have that in front of me, but I believe it's MAS, and then the year, month, day, your issuer ID, serial number 001, and then your issuer ID. So just so you know, if you're uploading more than one file in one day, you need to increment your serial number by 1. So if you want to upload 10 files, it would be 001, 002 through 010. So if you do not do that, you will overwrite your file.
Hi, Gail, this is Sophia. Can you hear me?
Yes, almost. Hi.
So my question is, we have been uploading files as you described, and I was thinking, then we were told that we have to actually send an email letting all the giving all the ID loan ID for those uploads. And also we were told that each page of the upload needs to be also updated with the ID. Is that something we have to do for all the documents we upload, or is it like, I was thinking, like, could we suggest, like, could the file name itself be the ID, loan ID?
No, it's a systematic read by another system, so it has to follow a specific file naming convention or it will be kicked out.
Okay,
Fortunately, we do need the unique loan ID on all the pages in case they go out of order. If you send us 250 pages, we don't always know what page 43 is associated with. Again, if you follow the reference sheet, and if anybody needs that reference sheet, contact Ginnie Mae help at Deloitte.com. We don't need a lot of documentation. Sometimes issuers are uploading the entire note. We don't need that. We just need to see the first couple pages that shows the terms of the note. That's all we're looking for, is the case number, the OPB, the maturity date, the interest rate, and the borrower. We do perform due diligence. If you send us a PR, we'll do the math, and it should match up to what you're reporting and what the agency is reporting.
okay. So you basically have to follow the naming convention and make sure that the documents on each document has a unique loan ID, and then follow up with an email with those unique loan IDs to the Deloitte help desk.
Yes, Denise. Yes, that's completely accurate. We don't know if you upload documentation. We're not notified.
Okay. So what would, next question, Gail, what would be the turn time of the resolution? So let's say we upload it today and follow up with an email. When should we expect that loan to drop off?
All the emails are processed in the order that we receive them. Paul and the monitoring team have been very diligent about this. So the last few emails that we got that had file uploads had 500 pages. Well, actually it was like 450. We tell issuers no more than 250. So we're wading through one upload that has 450 pages. That can take some time. So I believe we are at a 2-week backlog. We have brought on more resources. So hopefully we can get that within a few days.
Okay, because we did have a delay in getting a few of our loans resolved. So, but we were also not aware of the unique loan ID to go on the document. So we will continue to follow that, but just wanted to know what the turn time would be. So as of today, you're saying 2 weeks is what the backlog is, right?
Some of them, yeah. If it's the one page, like we divvy the work up, we disseminate it throughout the team to work on. So if one issuer got the email that has 450 pages in it, and then got the next, it might take them a while to get to the next email. If the other, we don't know what's in the upload. We don't know how many pages are in it. So if it's a 1-page PR, that could be done, in a week.
Okay, so your suggestion is to just send only those documents that will help you to resolve, not load every page. Okay, all right. Thank you, Gail. That's helpful.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for these good questions. We may not be able to get to all the questions on this call, but we will capture them and we will address them. So Yolanda, do you think we should continue here? Or do you have some wrap up?
Wrap up.
Yolanda, there you
I'm
are.
here. I was just talking on mute. Sorry about that. No, we probably, we'll just capture these and we'll answer all of the questions. They've been captured, so we'll just make sure we get everybody answers to all of their questions. Okay,
Okay.
all
Um,
right, go ahead.
I believe there was a survey that for the attendees.
There is, again, thank you all for attending today. Before we let you go, please take a few minutes to participate in the survey. Colin is going to drop the survey link in the chat box. Thank you, Colin. Again, this is another opportunity to submit feedback and just to help us make a more enriching learning experience for all of the attendees. In addition to completing the survey, you also are welcome to send any feedback, any additional questions or concerns that you may think of later, or even the ones that you we didn't have time to discuss today. You can send that feedback to cxg@hud.gov for all events hosted by Ginnie Mae. We indeed do pay attention to all the feedback that's offered. Our hope is that this training was beneficial to you, that you learned something, or perhaps it served as a refresher of some sort. So thank you guys again today for hanging out with us. And please remember to click the link in the chat to access and complete the survey. Thank you again and enjoy the rest of your day.